On the record. Meeting to order. June 9th. 2026. Sixteen Library.
I'll do a roll call. Kim Saxwell here. Willie Chapman.
Here.
Jared Oates, not here. Zachary Rockland.
Here.
Adam Langford.
Here.
Robert Van Dam.
Here.
Jordan Most.
Here.
And Patricia Caldwell. Not yet here. Okay. On to Mr. Alba.
Chair wants to do button speak.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you? My name is Guy Outlaw, the Assistant Commissioner for Research and Analysis Unit, the Office of Rent Administration for Homeless Community Renewal, also known as the Division of Housing and Community Renewal. And we're here to present you with, as we've done for 40+ years, we're here to present you with the data that the survey, this is a survey that the owners from March 1st until towards the end of May submit. The totals are in front of you, and I'm just going to help you just understand some of this data prior to you guys getting the explanatory statement, because we're getting the explanatory statement, which is more like the verbal, what I'm doing right now orally, but it's more like the written document of all these tables. But let's start with the Rockland County EPA M&A survey. I don't know if you can see this particular schedule. The reason I'm starting with that is because I want to let you know how many we mailed out and how many owners, agents we contacted in order to have this submission come to fruition, the survey submission. So on the right side is 2025, so it gives you a chance to look at what happened last year. And on the left is the 2026 total notices that we were mailed, 38 buildings. We were able to tabulate 16. We did receive 18, but 2 of them were not good, and we broke it down to non-comparable, meaning the data was completely off, and the owner did not justify the data. And one is new owners. We had an owner that was a year or 2 into the cycle and did not have the data to provide us with reviews. So again, the total received by us as a percentage of the number that we sent, 38. So 47%, that's about 47%. 53% did not respond. 20 owners or buildings should say did not respond. And out of those buildings, we were able to tabulate 1,686 units. And the total registered ETPA units in Rockland County is actually 2,231 units. So we got a nice picture. About 76% of the ETPA units in Rockland County were tabulated for you guys at the survey, compared to last year, which was 77%, 1% off. So that gives you just a little chance, a little glimpse. On the bottom,
But if there were fewer units
different buildings,
tabulated and registered last year, how was the percentage?
different buildings. An owner that of, let's say, a 12 unit building, could have not done it this year, but it was last year. It's not the same number. The buildings, when you see 16 or 18, doesn't mean that it's the same owners. Again, this is all confidential. I can't provide you with names or the addresses of these buildings or the owners, but I can only tell you that it doesn't necessarily is the same buildings. On the bottom, the average monthly regulated rent, we just wanted to give just a little glimpse of the last 5 years, so you're able to see the increases over a period of time. The 2 survey tables, which we give you guys many years, these are the 2 survey tables. One of them will say, based on 16 schedules for building containing 1,735 housing units, which 1,686 are subject to the Emergency Tenant Protection Act, EPA. The other one will say it's based on 15 schedules. I'm going to speak about the 15 schedules, let you on your own. Remember, something very important, from board to board, we tend to tell people that's on the board, explain to them. This is the survey. We are able to provide you with data that was given to us by owners. that were affirmed, and this is data that was reviewed, checked. However, it's not the only data, each one of you comes in with specialty. You always present to your colleagues and to your peers here, information and data that you feel is important for everybody to know and share. I'm here only to present the survey data, the data of the operation and maintenance from the survey. So that's important to know. I'm going to be speaking more about the 15 unit rather than the 16. If you have any questions on the 16, let me know. The reason it's 16 is because there's a building called Regency Building, and that's a very, very large building. And if you just put these two next to you, as I go through them, you will notice that one building really changes the picture for Rockland. And that is why and many of you are new here, I see new faces. I was not here last year, so the board requested many years ago that basically provided two schedules. One, if the Regency building included, one if the Regency building not included. That is why it makes sense. So based on 50 schedules, looking at the income. Look at 2025, if you look at 2023, 2024, 2025. Remember, we have 3 zeros. This is 1,000, so the rental income is about 19 million. 1,879 million. Miscellaneous falls into different categories, and I can read that to you later. Real estate and non-residential. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. I'm sorry. Loud enforcement.
I gave her no.
Oh, okay.
You gave me a step back.
Well, yes, okay. I'll prepare another one. Additional.
So you're ready.
So table one actually shows you the income and expenses in dollar amounts. Looking at the tabulation for 2025. January 1st, 2025, December 31st, 2025, we're looking at possibly 19,029,000. Expenses. That is excluding interest and depreciation. In that 12,487. However, interest and depreciation, the second we include that, was at 21,971,000. I want to point out, a lot of last year's depreciation is based on every single owner's account. Whatever law that they are following for whatever, assets that are being depreciated. We do not have specifics as to what depreciation, counting rules, regulations that the owner must follow. We just follow basically on how they report the depreciation to the federal. The second thing, the percentage of distribution, basically it's the same as what you saw in table one. However, we try to break it down for you by percentage rather than dollar amount, which is on table one. Table two will actually show you the expenses based on percentages, and you can see what's really taking place. Let's say again, 2025. Real estate taxes dominates with about 20.5% of the expenses that owners are showing, followed by payroll and repairs and maintenance. Expenses, excluding interest and depreciation, again, 2025, 56.8. And with interest and depreciation, again, we added everything up. Can't go over 100 at this point, but it's 100%. So that means you'll see it cost to income ratio why it's 100%. On table 3, when you look at the percentage change of income and expenses, and again, it's based on these 15 schedules, about 1,124 Emergency Family Protection Act units. Income again, I just want to make sure everybody understands, we are looking at since the survey looks at 23, 24, and 25, all in the last 3 years. So this just gives you a snapshot of what incomes has either increased or decreased in percentage wise for 2023 and from 24 to 25. So that's why there's only 2 columns, just so you understand. So looking again at 2024, and the increase of income was about 2.4%. Expenses from 2024 to 2025 went up by about 10%. Compared towards the last year. Last year was at 6%, and income only rose 1.7%. This year, income rose from 2024 to 2025. Table 4. So non-residential income includes various things, could be going to reveal that in a second. So always have multiple machines, hours, other items that they've been rent. That would consider non-residential. But wanted to be able to really give you a whole thing.
This number next.
So again, it includes the annual rental income from other sources, and I'll give you things like stores, exclusively for professional business use, garage, fund spaces that are not rented out in the rent. So non-residential income.
But income can be next.
That's really important. Well,
It's negative or it went down the last year.
it would get comfortable. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about table number 3. Table number 3 is actually funny, but there's a difference between 1 year and another. So you see something, so you see that non-residential 33%. Again, it's a big percent, but it's very, very small amount of money. It's not small amount of money. Embarrassing if you want to be feeling it. You look at table 1. Okay, non-residential income. Last year, 2024, they showed you that their case was at $102,000. This year, $68,000. So the difference between 102 and 68 is about 33.3%. That's
the reason. Yeah.
I found that, yeah. So I moved my information, yes. I found, give me a second, is that 2? So that's 2024. So the difference between 39 and 24. So you see the non-residential in 2024 and non-residential in 2025 on table 1. That will show you the difference in table number 3 that we asked if we what's the negative 33. Table number 4. So this is the annual income versus the expenses. And this is where I was talking about depreciation and sometimes how it's calculated, and every single owner does it in different ways. Looking at the 2025 column, again, income at 19 million, close to 9. The expenses before depreciation at 17,900,000 and after depreciation at 21,970,000. And cash flow before depreciation showing for about 1,118,000, and after depreciation showing a loss of cash flow without 2,042,000. So again, looking at depreciation before and after in percentage, we're at 5.8 at 5.8 and a negative 15.4. The reason we break it down for you by the dollar amount and by percentages because exactly with that question. People see a large number suddenly percentage change, but actually in dollar change it's a small number in comparison to the local numbers. Anyone have any questions about these? Let's show you a little picture. It's not it's a well picture, but this is basically the change in rent for apartment subject to emergency. This is the change from one person leaves that apartment, what did it rent for in the preceding year? So just giving you guys a little glimpse. And I'll explain to you, basically, if you go down a column, there's not a big change, as you can see, not many owners reported to us as vacancies. But for 1 year lease, right in the front, the first page, 1 year lease, those that are, you know, showing between 1,000 to about just about 1499. That were vacant, rented for that amount, basically, for the same amount. Don't forget that we don't have the vacancy allowances anymore, and since 2019 HPSA, and we don't have we have and
Venture capital.
major capital.
We permitted a guideline on vacancy.
Yes,
That's when.
but there's no vacancy guideline.
Yeah, but we permitted it.
So those apartments, units that were renting for that price range, let's go for, let's say the second page, 2 years, again. Those apartments that were renting for between 1,000 and 1,500. Those same 2 units were renting for 1,000 to 1,499 when the new tenant. So it just gives you a little snapshot of, again, by numbers and by percentages. This is just like I'll break down for you. The final one is cost to income ratio. We've been doing that for Rockland since 1987. Gives you a chance to look at, this is what I assume that would any owner or any first head of business would be looking at, see if they're profitable or not. And this is, there are going to be some numbers before depreciation, some numbers after depreciation. So if you look at cost to income, including interest and depreciation in Rockland County, for the last 3 cycles, 2023, 2023, 2023, 2024, 2025. And this is again, including interest and depreciation. We're showing 101%, 101%, 102.58%. Anything over 100 means there's a loss. And expenses are greater than income. Without excluding, that is excluding that second column to the right, excluding interest and depreciation for the last 3 years, 2023, 2024, and 2025, 63.6, 65.57, and 58.36, but for those 15 buildings. And that is for every 68 cents, 69 cents that an owner spends. But now expenses go to 0.68, basically 68 cents per dollar.
So no matter which way you cut it, buildings in Rockland County have been operating at the biggest loss in its history since 1987.
I don't know. As far as you mean, as far as
These are the highest cost to income, no matter which interest and depreciation, 50, 60.
it's definitely in the large.
These are the highest.
You've had some higher ones back in 2008, 2008, 2009, 2010. They should have had some a little higher.
Excluding interest, you had it on
Excluding, yes. Because again, I can't
slightly.
vouch for, I can only provide the data for this, including interest and depreciation. I can't vouch to how it's being used. Because I don't have each account sitting in front of me saying, hey, this asset is being depreciated. Give you the total, but I don't know exactly how the depreciation. That is my presentation. Unless you have any questions, be more than happy to answer. You can always feel free to email me, reply to the email that I sent you. But when I always ask you, when you reply, please reply to all. So everybody on the board, council to the board, and myself, and my staff, everybody will be able to be a part of it. It's just not like between you and I. So you can reply all and ask me any questions that maybe you can, if you didn't understand something about the data, you need to do a clarification, feel free to do that. Right next to it, especially before your votes.
So looking at the chart,
Which one?
so actually both charts. So the chart that does not include the VDC,
You mean the 15 schedule?
15 schedule. From 23 to 24, the expenses, costs and expenses for repairs and maintenance were down 8.9%, but in the last year, they're up 61.6%. When you include the Regency, they were down 5.3% from 23 to 24. This year, they were up 24.4%. I think the reason for that is because we gave a more meaningful guideline in the last year, and it gave, by virtue of the rents increasing, it gave owners more cash to provide repairs and maintenance to the buildings. So I think that was very helpful, and, you know, I could see that the Regency must have spent more money on repairs and maintenance than they have in quite a few years. So that's good to see, and it's encouraging that I think our increase in the guideline rate probably contributed to that.
Just remember, any guidelines that you vote on, or whatever it is, usually we see it, we see numbers in income rising up based on the guidelines. It's about a two to 3 year cycle, 2.5 year cycle, let's say. So we actually see.
You know, it starts in October.
No, I know it starts for you in October, but I'm saying when I get the data, you know, we get the data again for what will be. For you, it's what will be as of October 1st, 2026. The data that I will probably be seeing, you know, will probably come in October of 2028. You know, I will be seeing 2026, 2027, that these numbers will show me the effect of your guideline goals. It's not instant. You know, we usually see it over a period of a year and a half to 2 years.
So it's also interesting how looking at the 15 building one, how in 23 to 24 insurance costs were up 55.1%. This year they were down 0.8%, but that's still 54% more than 2 years ago.
Okay.
So keep that in mind.
The inflation we saw, the inflationary period of the last 2.5, 3 years, we did see insurance rates rise dramatically.
Yep.
They sort of taking a little more of, you know, right, my feeling that's going to be a sense.
Very modest platinum. Yeah. Fuel, obviously, you could see it down 21% at 23 to 24, up 24.9%. That's a staggering increase in fuel. And, you know, fuel obviously to provide tenants with heat. Fuel costs going up, we have to do, you know, in my view, make sure that owners are able to pay for that.
Very much winking.
Was it very much? Thank you.
Not the third, yeah.
Second.
Question. Sorry. Made a motion. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Yes.
Question on favor. So. Objections, abstentions, move. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.